and fey, I've met soldiers at war and set eyes upon distant shores. Long have I traveled across these lands.
I'm ready.
Oh yes, I'm too.
Welcome back to the Exillian Expanse, episode 24. Last we left off, you guys are finishing listening to Valessa's sort of final words across Obscura. You do notice that her voice is some way amplified through the streets. And she stands very unmoving with Scylla by her side. I believe we just finished with her and Lorea sort of clocking eyes as Lorea gives her a little bit of a threat. And you watch as Scylla pains himself in response. Below and all around you, in the streets of this city of Obscura, lines of soldiers move in that perfect formation, advancing like a heartbeat. Their armor all bears that insignia of the Dawn Council, but it has been changed a little bit. Where once there were brilliant golden motifs of the luminary, are now obscured by an obsidian sun. They are disciplined, unspoken. There are no songs, just drums as they begin to march. We sort of move back in all of your minds through the truth beneath the High Priestess. She stands there, sort of a monument of all that's light and holy. You guys know the truth being that the archives, that dread smoke that twisted through the air, the newfound friend of a talking rat that you have now somehow picked up. The brainwashing, the Crimson Baron, the unsold deals and pacts made in the dead of night, as well as oaths of fealty and an oncoming war. There is not much that you can do. And so you all have a few days to sit and mull, talk amongst yourself as Obscura falls into a somewhat odd standstill of peace as the soldiers leave the city. Some of them still stay to obviously guard the walls, but you know where the rest have gone. And you have choices to make in terms of how you're going to deal with a numbered few. But you will have a couple of days to just accomplish whatever you might want to set out as a group or individually looking for specific things. So we'll move around the table and see what you would like those things to be.
Like, and before we start, can we up the OBS volume output for just stream in general? It is also quiet on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Let me... And we'll do an audio test real quick.
How's the cough? Sorry.
I have to wait for the delay to play. Vaughn, can you introduce yourself real quick so we can do an audio level?
Yes, I'm Vaughn. I play Ku, a Dampier Rook.
Rain, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Rain. I play Geo Milfeast, a GIF fighter. I'm a giant hippo.
Okay. Lorea, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I play Lorea as my warlock, and she does not pass the Bechdel test currently.
It took me a
Which is
second
my
to
own-
realize what you said.
which is my own fault, granted.
Cool. Okay. I think after listening, because there's a delay from when we speak and stream hears us, I think we're better now.
Okie dokie.
I'm very loud. Hold on. Yeah, that's better. I turned my own mic down.
I was still adjusting everyone's because it changes every week. But yes, what
Yeah.
going around the table, I guess we'll start with Ku. Is there anything you would like to accomplish during your time sort of relaxing? Not really relaxing, but it seems to have fallen into a little bit of a lull of late.
Yeah, I'd like to try to take a look at some city documents and just try to hunt down the last time that the Dawn Council didn't seem to be quite so corrupt. If
Okay.
that even exists.
No, that's completely fine. Who is next? Lorea, what would you like to be accomplishing during your time?
I'll probably be trying to network a little bit, get some, use my charisma to gain some info, mostly not necessarily from the rebels, but from the people themselves, and sort of have the double agenda of can we get anything of note about the ongoings in regards to the Dawn Council, and see if I can gather some souls for a share.
Okay. Geo, what would you like to be doing?
I'm gonna try and eat the town dry.
That's your only goal.
We
That
did
is my
forget
only
to
goal.
we did forget to feed Geo last session, so that's
Yeah,
on
he's
us.
starving.
Okay.
I haven't eaten anything for like 2 days.
Bellini.
I'm gonna go visit my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising no one.
Okay, would you be doing that alone or with other people?
I'm gonna tell the group and be like, listen, you can come if you want. And I
He
leave
would
it up
go
to them.
with.
Okay.
But he'd also carry a barrel full of food with him.
Yeah, that's fine. I am changing my spells up because I don't think this is a combat day. So I did take Goodberry and I did cast Goodberry. Hold on. Where's Goodberry? The one spells. Is Goodberry a ritual spell? No. Goddamn. So I do take I do cast Goodberry on 10 berries. Eating one berry restores 1 hit point and provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. How does that affect Geo? Is Geo nourished for a day?
I would say yeah, you would be. Yeah.
Oh.
I purposely don't eat any good berries.
Bellini's only slightly offended.
Watch you start making those into geosnacks.
I do bake them into the geosnacks. And I tell him to suck it. I'm not taking. No, I want to keep Moonbeam. I'm not going to take Heat Metal. But I am
Okay.
gonna take-
Koo, can you make a investigation check for your downtime activities?
I sure can. Maybe if I can find it. There it is. Big 8.
Nice.
You find. I'd say you'd find a couple of documents. Most of them have been redacted or rewritten. I'd say you'd find maybe one, that details in the final years of the house's reign, before the rise of the Dawn Council. Objections to their abdication are recorded by Councillor Valcorin, and that would be all you'd find.
Fair enough.
For Larea, do you want to what are you trying to do again? You're trying to network with people.
The townspeople. Yeah. She'll be mostly among the poorer kind, and not necessarily the rebels, but just the people out in the streets. Farmers, like people with simple jobs, and sort of just like as if she is how do you say that? She's just trying to make connections with the people in the town to see if she can gather any gossip that is valuable to them.
Okay, yeah. Make a persuasion.
Wow. 12.
Okay, sorry. What did you roll?
12.
12. Yeah, I would say you become a little bit more notable in sort of the, not only the resistance, but just the generic citizens. You come to understand that most people quite like Valessa. She is a high priestess of the Luminary, so taken in great reverence. She often helps people out when they need food or money. She is seen by a lot of them as sort of a symbol of light in quite a dark city. I'd say you maybe convince 4 people to look deeper into the new mysticism that you're giving to Ashir, in not so much a deity, but just a if you ever lose your way,
Minor patron.
yeah, he can always help you out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an extra 4.
Oh yeah.
And then aside from that, not much else. But you are a little bit more known, and I'd say with a 12, Charlie begins to teach you some of the coded means of messaging that they use. So a lot of the hand movements and the chalk marks that you've seen. Let's... Oh yeah. Geo, Can you make a Constitution saving throw? I guess.
Yes, I can. 18.
Okay. You get in good with some of the more popular but cheaper markets in the town. There's a lot of fried and boiled meats. But you consume a great deal of their portions to the point where they actually cut you off because you begin to eat into the food determined for the war effort and quickly shoo you away before anything bad happens. And then we move on to Bellini. Bellini, can you make a investigation or persuasion, depending on how you want to find the information of to get in contact with your uncle?
Yeah. I want to head towards the docks, knowing that my uncle is a trader.
Yeah.
Trader. Not Traitor. Trader. And I want to ask around. The big thing is hi, I'm looking for Giuseppe. I very obviously name drop this man. I'm in town. I'm his nephew. I'm looking for him. I was told I could find him somewhere down here. Would love some help. I'm putting the razzle dazzle on.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a persuasion then, if you're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, I put my nice clothes on. That's a 16 plus 4, dirty 20.
Oof. Yeah, you find a bunch of people that sort of usher you towards the lower end of the docks, where some of the shady shit happens. You are told to look for a man named Varduccio, who is you would guess maybe one of your cousins, because he is Giuseppe's son. And I would say that's where we pick up with the four of you standing on the dockside in the early hours of the morning. There's that sort of low mist that's poured through and just sits along most of the walkway. And as you're standing there sort of into view through the fading mist of the morning, you see quite a small looking tavern, you would guess, maybe, stuck between two giant warehouses, is the luckiest shell. You can see warmth, pipe smoke, already the familiar clink of different dice being set up.
I
go for it.
refuse to show up empty-handed, so I do show up with a bouquet of flowers and a box of chocolates and a bottle of wine.
Amazing.
Because it's rude to visit family and not bring something.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
if you haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
would
walk in.
Very easy for you to do. There is a bouncer. He is probably the same height as Geo. He is a turtle, but he is scarred. His shell is massive and warped in different places. He's got massive spiraling spines coming out from the top of it, and he looks a little bit more lizard than turtle. And stops you as you go to walk in. Credentials?
Hi, my name is Bellini. I am Giuseppe's nephew.
No, I'm sorry, so sorry. I didn't mean to stop you. You can, of course, go in. Yeah. And he sort of steps to the side almost immediately, and the door opens.
It's very nice to meet you. I'm visiting from out of town. Is he here? Can I find him here?
Yeah, he's at the back. I'll
Cool.
and he sort of motions inside to the bartender, and he gives a nod.
And then I walk and I go, these are my friends, and I walk in, very much like kid who is being introduced to family members, extended family who he does not know. Like Bellini does have a little note card written.
I would say
And then
even without
walks
an
in.
insight roll, it is very obvious that as soon as you mentioned you were family, no one's gonna stop you.
And then what was my cousin's name?
Varduccio.
Varduccio.
Yes.
So I have a list of Bellini's extended family that I am updating. Cousin Giuseppe's son. Okay. And then I look at the doorman and I look up because he's much taller than me, and I go, I did not get your name. What is your name? I want to give you a good review.
Tony.
Tony. Bouncer. Luckiest. Okay. And then I walk in, and I just kind of look around for the shadiest corner in the room, because that is where I assume my uncle will be.
Yeah, I would say that this let me find a tavern. Is this? Yeah. Oh. Okay. This tavern is. It looks like it's built out of shipwood. It's got like faded coral red, and then some blues, and then you see the old name of maybe a ship at some point. You get the sense as you're looking around, there's an equal part like tea house and also tavern, as some people are drinking ales and other people are drinking what looks like tiny cups and a very large teapot as you watch the steam sort of drift into the air. There's quite a heavy musk smoke inside. It's quite humid in here. You guess maybe it's some sort of incense or spice, you're not too sure. There's little lanterns made of clamshells, and there's a very dark wood bar. Rather than chairs that you're used to in sort of the, well, very rickety ones in the Cock and Weasel, these one has very low tables and then like long velvet cushion settees that you can sit in. Behind the bar is sort of a quite burly looking lizard folk. He's bright blue and is pouring out different liquids. And then in the far end where you look for, surrounded by more sort of hazy smoke, is a very large, wide turtle in an open purple vest. It's got gold trim, and then a striped navy suit over the top. Where you can see parts of his shell, it's all been like cracked and tattooed with like whirls of storms and like different motifs of the sea. And he's got a bronze monocle and then like a curled mustache that looks very familiar. And then is just sitting there, looks up as you walk in, and you see him like peering through that monocle to try and see who it is.
I walk towards that big turtle in the pinstripe suit with the purple vest, and I just kind of wave the entire time. And then F stands up on my shoulder and also waves as we get closer. I go, "Hi, do I recognize him as my Uncle Giuseppe?"
Yeah, well, most
I've
of the
seen
time
this
you
man
see him, he's
before.
not quite dressed so extravagantly, but yes, it is definitely him.
Like a small child who has not seen an extended family member in a long time. I just kind of wave as I approach, and I go, "Hi, Uncle Giuseppe. I'm in town, and I wanted to come say hi. These are my friends." And I offer him the flowers, chocolate, and wine. my mom said I should bring a gift when visiting family. I'm also, if you can believe it or not, a visiting dignitary from Tassisraela on behalf of the Shadelight Monarch. I don't know how I ended up in this position, but yeah, it's been an adventure. And I just walk up to this man.
I was just debating whether or not to do the voice for it.
Do it.
Is it a bad Italian accent?
Oh,
'Cause-
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Just give us a taste. You don't have to keep it up the entire time.
No, keep it up. Do it.
No. You see, as you walk in, he's absolutely not. You see, he, like, peers, and then after a while, sort of widens his arms. He takes the gifts, and offers you all to sit. Geo, you notice that you wouldn't fit on one of the cushions, but the bouncer is already behind you with, like, the largest barrel he could find, and just sort of scrapes it across the floor, and, like, places it down.
Sit on it. And I pat him on the back.
Thank you,
But yeah.
Tony.
I mean, we always said you'd go very far, so, what do you need from me?
I wanted to come say hi. It's been like 2 years since I last saw you. And also, yeah, there's a war happening. If you didn't know that, which I assume,
I may have heard some things.
yeah. Are there other people at this table with us?
Not at the moment.
Cool, great. And I kind of look around and I go, well, yeah. So I also heard some people died, and I just wanted to come say hi. And then I look at Ku, and I like give him a wink, and I just kind of stare at him for a second, and I go, and I just wait and hope he gets my drift of, can you cast the speak in our minds thing?
Nope, fully does not. You are acting like a fucking psychopath for some goddamn reason and talking like a child. I don't know what's going on.
So listen. I hear you're a trader. We could use some help. Cyrusia could always use more trade. Business is going great at the Lucky Shell and the Burrow House. Things are good. But yeah, I don't know what you heard happened around, but some crazy shit went down.
I mean, yeah, we've heard some things, but I mean, look, you're my nephew, your family. I will happily help you out with whatever you need, but we gotta keep our business good, you know.
My other question is, do you know where I might be able to obtain a bag of holding?
Does he know? I mean, we trade in all sorts of banned shit, but unfortunately we have yet to come across such a potent item.
Damn. Okay. Well, I look at the group and I go, well, listen, we're in town for a couple days. There is a big dragon flying around outside of the city. We might kill that on our way back. Yeah. I'm here because is this a private place? Like, Are we good? I might have some tea for you.
You see, he pauses for a minute, and he looks up, and he's like, "Everybody out!" And they all just leave all at once.
Cool. I look at my uncle and I go, listen, I read a book. I learned you're a mafia boss. News to me.
Whoa. I'm a businessman. Alright. We don't trade with that M word. I'm
Cool.
a businessman.
Great. How would you like to be a businessman potentially on the Dawn Council?
Okay, I'm listening.
Cool, great. How do you feel about Valessa?
I mean, she's a... I keep almost slipping into it. she's a pretty broad, for sure, but
Great.
a bit creepy if you ask me.
Cool.
I agree with you.
How would you feel if she was no longer on the Dawn Council?
I mean, how would that work? Like, everyone just does whatever she wants.
Yeah, how would you feel if... Well, okay, so... You know that Draz guy who's no longer alive?
Yeah.
Cool. You know how there's no more smoke when you cast magic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. What if I were to say I had something to do with that?
You see, he pauses for a minute. Like, takes a quick drink of his tea. Yeah, I could see it. Especially with your big friend here.
Cool. So yeah. That's our next goal, and we could use some help. We're also trying to prevent the emergence of a god. So, yeah. Eliminating Valessa, helpful for our cause. We have mixed feelings on Siler. I look at the group. Anything else we want to add?
Right?
I mean, not to offend you, but sounds pretty bad for business. If like most of my contracts are with Valessa. If she dies, then that's a lot of money
I
spent
sort
up the
of break
wall.
in. I can assure you that the double agenda of your companion Valessa is a lot worse for business than keeping her alive or killing her is.
Oh yeah, she's trying to summon the god of torment into this realm and destroy the world. So, and or subjugate you. One of the two. I don't know.
I mean,
which
I
one.
suppose there's less coin in the world if the world isn't there, so it is something.
Great. Also, like Siler does like us, and kind of owes us a favor. Maybe, I don't know.
Pretty big one.
We
See,
did
I
rescue
just
his
have
sister.
a couple of problems with this. I don't really gain a lot by this whole arrangement.
What if you were to just move your contracts from Valessa to Siler / you're a representative you decide as a puppet on the Dawn Council?
Well, I mean, that'd be pretty hard since I'm already on it.
I look at the group because I just go, oh, what? Wait, what? Did...
You just said what you thought he said, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you know, there's 12 members. Someone had to fill the void.
Right.
Cool. How would you like to pick the person who fills Valessa's spot on the Dawn Council? And or be that person? And then pick the person who fills your spot.
Look, Bellboy, I don't know. This all sounds a lot of maybes. Not enough.
Okay, well, here's the deal. Either I kill Valessa, or she kills me. But either way, I was hoping you might have a bag of holding so that I can just banish her to the astral plane and not kill her and prevent the Lord of Torment from entering this world. Also, my mom says hi.
Oh, why you gotta bring moms into this?
Listen,
Oh.
she's your sister. She does like you. You know, every
I
time you
mean, I
come, she does
suppose.
bust out the good ziti.
Yeah, I suppose we can lend you some help. Look, I don't have a bag of holding, but
Listen, some potions would help. Anything you really got. If you know of a enchanter, anything that could help prevent her from controlling our minds, that would also be helpful. We do have the entire resistance on our side, so that's helpful. And yeah, also her Siler might be her boyfriend. I don't fully know where they stand. I don't know if they've made it official yet. But he did show us his face, so that must tell you something.
Just dead eye stare.
can I have an insight check from Larea and a persuasion check from Bellini, and you can have advantage because you're family.
Yeah.
16 from me.
Cool.
That's a 1 on the first die, but a 17 on the other die, plus 4, 21.
Okay, fine. All right, we'll help you. Fuck it.
The
You see
big thing
he
is,
reaches in, pulls out a ring, and sort of slides it across the table, and then produces a key and slides that as well. Warehouse 3, backlog.
cool.
Don't go knocking until you mean business, because you'll see.
And the ring?
You were worried about the little hypno thing she does. That should help you out.
Great.
I don't have more, because, you know, I'm not made of magic rings.
No, I understand. This is really helpful, though. We appreciate it.
Larea, on your insight check, there is no discernible change in his attitude whenever you're mentioning, like, the Lord of Torment, Valessa's plans. He does not seem to care either way. The only time he does is when you mention Sylar and sort of becoming his ally. There's like a small twitch in his face of, you think it's just a twitch at first, and then you realize it's like a lot of scorn, disgust. Like, he would not be open to that.
Okay.
Anything else, nephew?
I just really want to say thank you for helping me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, thank you. You sparked this whole enterprise.
And listen, next time you're in Tussusrela, stop by the Burrow House. You're always welcome. And listen, I appreciate you looking out for us and helping us when you can and when you come visit. And listen, if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I'll try my best.
Keep you to that.
Yeah. This is big, and I understand this is jeopardizing some business for you, but we hope it pays off in the long run.
before
know
you
a
go,
potion- yeah.
Valessa always has a backup plan. Usually she has a backup plan for her backup plan. I wouldn't be too cocky if you win it first.
No. Yeah, killing Draz was easier than we expected. The man was a wild card. Or more of a rage machine. Who is the scribe?
Ishkar.
Ishkar. Turned into a pile of ink. But she was also sneaky and crafty. There was no body, so we don't know yet. I did hear she boned a skeleton. Don't know if you have any rumors, any information on that. I forgot to ask her before I killed her.
Yeah, we did hear that one. That was good. Yeah, the whole, release the evil person.
Yeah.
There's a where the Dawn Council meets is up in the Aurelian Rise, in the Great Temple.
Yeah.
There's a separate room that they go to. It's a big stained glass window behind it. But there's a book in there. I've only been in there once or twice. But that book, that's some heebie-jeebie type shit. So,
cool.
I don't know if that's helpful.
We might want to grab that book before we deal with Valessa. So it might be a steel book kill lady in that order. Uncle, I really appreciate it. This is a big step and a big reach for you, but it's important we don't forget God.
No, it's fine. I'll send out Tony and some other guys to see what they can pick up if we have a little bit more information.
Yeah.
I'll,
we're staying at the Cock and Weasel.
Oh. Why?
It's got a funny name, mainly.
Fair enough.
And we just kind of needed a place to crash. I'm sure we could have stayed somewhere nicer, but
yeah. Well, I mean,
it makes it really easy to move around.
Somewhere new to stay, just ask.
Cool. We'll keep you posted. We might need a fallout. So.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, you can go, but it was nice. It was nice seeing you. You've grown up a lot.
Yeah. I didn't expect to be here, but first time outside of Tisasrella has been real interesting, and yeah. Thanks for believing in me. And I reach my hand out to shake his hand.
Yeah, he shakes it back.
And then I heat up his teapot with a little produce flame cantrip. Just making sure this is nice and hot for you.
I have missed your magic tricks.
I love you. And I think we got a job to do. So appreciate it.
Well, hopefully I can make a little bit more coin off of this, but
yeah.
You know what they say, family before gold, right?
Yeah.
Great.
I look at the group. Y'all need anything?
Arm wrestle Tony.
Absolutely. Yes, you may. Come here.
I got 5 gold on my man. You want to make a betting game out of this, Uncle? I'll happily take it.
Make it 10. Why not?
Fine, whatever. Let's go.
So yeah, it's just contested strength rolls. I have no idea what Tony's. Let's find out.
I rub Gio's shoulders. I like get him loose and limber, and I was like, "You got this."
I sit down behind the barrel I was just sitting on, and then use the barrel.
Yeah. Okay.
13 for me.
It's a 15 for me. As you
Oh.
sort of, like, even the barrel begins to crack under the weight of the strength, and then eventually Tony just moves it ever so slightly and then taps. But it is to the point that as you guys finish, like, the metal warps in the barrel until it's like twisted completely.
I pull
Oh, fun.
10 gold out of my pocket and I go, damn, Unc, you got that's a big man.
Yeah, what
And
can you say? Tony works out a lot.
And I very graciously hand my uncle 10 gold.
Yeah, if only Varduccio was that big, but you know.
Yeah,
what it is.
I haven't seen him. Where's he at?
He's down at the warehouse.
Okay,
But,
I'll see him later then,
Yeah.
when it's go time.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Uncle.
No worries.
Thanks. I hug him and then we head out.
Sweet. Fuck off.
Hug Tony.
Yeah, there's sort of like a nice little romance.
It's God love between two guys. It's no, nobody's watched Scrubs. Okay.
Not to that extent, no.
Yeah.
Okay, you make your way over to the docks.
Yeah.
Not the docks, you're already in the docks. You make your way over to Warehouse 3. It sits apart from some of the other ones. You can see a lot of this dock is very salt warped. You have that sort of reminiscent throwback to our first sessions. Down at the docks in Tazazrela, those were quite nice. These ones, very shit. There's like missing planks, warped pieces of wood. Warehouse 3's roof is partially sunken, and you can see there's a reading of a sign that says no entry, rotted. Can you make a choose someone to make a perception check.
I got a +6.
Better than my +5.
I also have +6.
Do you want to roll it? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
It's a 16.
There's something off because it looks perfectly unusable. And then the closer you look, like, you can see the front door's hinges are new and they sort of a little bit shiny. There's a distinct lack of warping in one direction to the front door. There's this faint smell of that same burnt incense you had in the tavern, and like a little bit of oil. And this is something that you would guess that, yeah, this is definitely more of a front than it looks. There's a copper coin shaped sigil right above one of the doors that has a little speckled pattern of a shell on it, and then a keyhole underneath.
Seeing all of that, I will activate the telepathy thing for an hour and just share all of that in our heads.
Before we open this door, I go, well, so I'm guessing this is a ring of mind shielding or something. I'm pretty resistant to mind control. I'm really good at wisdom saving throws. But if I don't know if anybody else, this might be helpful for anyone else. I offer it to the group.
I will use an action, make the mind shielding visible. I already am protected, but appreciate it.
I look at Lorea.
I'll take it. If Geo doesn't need it.
I have a couple potions of psychic resistance. I think I'll be good for a little bit.
Then gladly. Thank you.
Yeah, offer it to Larea. If you die, we'll take it off your body and put it on myself.
I would expect nothing less.
Cool, great.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't loot my body, honestly.
My uncle did give that to me. I mean, you were just there. And then I unlock the door. I pull my like hunter's amulet, which lets me reroll wisdom saves, and I was like, I have a trick or two. And then I slide it back under my shirt. And then I go into the warehouse.
Okay.
Such a silly and dumb name.
It's so stupid.
What? I'm missing something.
He was just talking about Varduccio.
Mm.
Dumb and silly name.
So Lorraine, you currently have the ring, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It does require attunement. It is not a ring of mind shielding, and I will let you know what it is when you attune to it.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
It's interesting. It's interesting. It will help you. There is a reason he gave it. It will definitely help you.
Right.
But, yeah.
That's what they all say.
As you walk into the main room of this warehouse, you can see a great storage section of just stacks and stacks of different crates. You can see different shipping labels to different parts of Sylvastria. Some parts say like dwarven flour. You've got like alchemical salt. Without even an insight roll, I'd say Ku, you're clever enough to know that alchemical salt, not really a thing. Salt's just salt. Same as dwarven flour. Dwarven flour means nothing because you make flour from... You name the flour from either the seed it comes from or the place. So dwarven flour makes, again, no sense. You would guess maybe they're just false labels. There's a pair of very bored-looking humans who are just playing cards at a table. And as you walk in, they sort of give you a little side-eye through their cards.
Do I see my cousin Varduccio?
There is no one
Sitting at
else
that
in
table?
there. There's just two people and a load of crates, is all you see.
I go, hi, I'm Bellini. I was given a key to this warehouse by my uncle, Giuseppe, and was told Varduccio is here. I don't know who you are.
You see one of them goes, "Oh, welcome in," and the other one goes, "No. Like, that could be anyone. Like, I could walk in here and say, oh, Giuseppe's my uncle. Like, do you not remember we had, like, the whole thing with the... Prove it. Can you prove it?"
He's a turtle, Geo yells.
Yeah, one of them's like, yeah, that's a pretty good... It's like, anybody could be a turtle. Okay, have you got any proof?
That's
I want to
racist.
intimidate them.
I pull the key out and I go, how many people have a key to this warehouse?
Actually, that's a very good point. Well, I don't...
I just go, Varduccio, are you here? It's me, Bellini. Eth stands on my shoulder, and I go, does this help? I have a haunted fire spirit. Has he talked about me?
That
His
doll
nephew?
is haunted?
Yeah, he can burst into flames.
Oh, fuck that shit. I'm out. Okay, you guys can go. Yeah, I don't want to be haunted by no doll.
Cool.
I believe you. You're definitely his nephew.
I high five Eth. And Eth just holds the key above his head like he's killed a small animal. And
You
it's
see
just like,
they lean down on one of the crates and just give it a couple of slams. And then you watch as what looks like two of them stacked on top of each other just lifts up and like a turtle head pops through. You can see like it's around about Bellini's age. You can only see obviously the top part of him. So you can see like half moon spectacles, like a very perched sort of fedora hat as he like leans to one side. Bellini?
Verduccio?
Hey!
Hey!
Hey! Come on.
Hey!
Come in,
Hey!
come in.
Hey.
Boys, it's Bellini. Come oh fucking hell. Come on.
Yeah. I brought some friends. One of them is 9 feet tall.
Yeah, your friend might need to crawl. It's a little tight.
Yeah.
I can do that.
I head on in.
Yeah. Past the sort of false front of this warehouse, you descend into a very narrow wooden stairwell that just about fits Geo, sort of scraping his arms along the brick. A vast stone chamber underneath. There's brick walls fortified with very simple iron beams. Beams? And then all the way at the end, you can see it dips into what appears to be water, and then there's like a gated grate that looks like it would fit a sizable boat that you'd be able to row in and out. Varduccio, as you walk in, the light now showing him, he looks to be maybe in his late 30s-ish by total standards. I don't know what that means. He's a little bit taller than
Portals live a
Bellini.
long time.
His shell has been polished and lacquered so that it shines really, really bright and green. And he's had gold filigree inlaid along all the different parts of the ridges. He also wears a very tailored waistcoat. His is like obsidian, just black. And it's got little blue cranes and little crashing waves. He's got a sapphire-colored tie, and his shirt is crushed velvet, white. He's got manicured and painted claws, talons. I don't know whatever turtles have.
Claws. They have
Yeah.
claws.
And obviously that perched fedora and the glasses.
For those watching at home that don't know what Bellini's outfit is, it is a blue, like powder blue overcoat with a pink like button vest under it, and then like these like khaki pants, almost, and then there's like a white like cotton shirt under it, almost, like tie shirt, so and a what color is my bowler hat? Hold on.
I think it's also blue.
I think it's also blue. Hold on.
Yeah.
The Hero Forge. That's what I was looking for.
So,
Yeah.
just to get both parts, I will need another insight roll from someone who isn't Bellini. And then, Bellini, I will need you to roll a history check to see what you remember about Varduccio.
Okay.
I'll insight check.
Big money's no whammies.
That's a 17.
Okay.
My history is +0, but that is a 13 on the die. So.
Okay. Varduccio always had a little bit of a jealous streak when it came to you, specifically. Giuseppe talks about you a lot in terms of everything you've built, even though you came into it. Varduccio is aware of what happened and hates you for it, because Giuseppe never shuts up about you, and he's a constant disappointment to his father. Ku can see this. Varduccio is quite charming almost immediately, but there is like a shark-like glare whenever he's talking to Bellini. He very much reminds you of some of the Shadowbinders that you've met in Tazazrela, in the sort of, they prefer like leverage and control, like clever wordplay, smoothness. There's a little bit of rivalry, but there is a sentiment to it in that Varduccio would never hurt Bellini. He's just very jealous of him. So there's a very twisted fondness and a little bit of resentment.
Does Bellini recognize this, or is he oblivious to it?
I will leave that down to you. All you remember is that there was always a little bit of jealousy between the two of you. But however much Bellini remembers, I'll leave that down to you.
Okay. 13's not bad, but it's not like, and everything is like, Verduccio, your dad said I'd find you here, that you're doing great things. I'm glad you're here. It's nice to see you. I missed you. And I go to hug him.
He sort of almost flinches and then like realizes, and is like, okay, and then gives you that hug.
Yeah. This is a cool place. I didn't know this existed. You're in charge here? That's awesome.
I mean, of course I am. Look at this. Like, you know, we do a little bit of smuggling. It is what it is.
Cool.
How can I help? What do you need?
Are there a lot of people around here, or is it just him down here?
There's quite a few actually. You notice a lot of unusually different races from what you've seen in Obscura. Alongside some humans, you notice like a similar to Charlie, there's a water genasi in one side. There's a couple more turtles. What appears to be maybe some form of merfolk, because they've got gills, and there's a moment where you like sort of clock it. In this city, they would be considered aberrations. So it's very odd to see such a large number of them. But you would guess that might be why they're here, is that Giuseppe and Verduccio have given them a place to thrive.
I look at him and I go, do you have a private room?
Of course, step into my office. And he sort of motions to a room, opens the door. It's not really an office. There's one table, a bunch of chairs, and then like a load of crates with different bottles in it, and a lot of dust. But very able to give you guys some privacy.
I pull the good berries, like I have a little bag, they're in a little bag, and I go, I have a gift for you. These are good berries. I look at the group and I go, so you know Draz is dead. You know the magic smoke is gone. We're responsible for that.
No way.
And we're in the process of eliminating Valessa, but also doing it in such a way that we do not do not aid in the summoning of the Lord of Torment to the mortal realm, which she is actively trying to do at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
crazy, my man.
That's a lot. That is, yeah.
Yeah, this is my first time leaving Tessa's Rayla in the Burrow House in the Lucky Shell, and I'm a little over my head, but I have friends who are helping. Oh yeah, let me introduce you to my friends. This is Gio. You know Gio. He lives at the Burrow House. He does eat my mom's bowl, and she gets very mad at him.
Did you get bigger? I didn't think that was possible. Like, you're very tall.
Yeah, not as big as Tony though.
yeah, that guy's a big boy. Yeah.
Dude, I lost 10 gold. Tony beat him in an arm wrestling
I am not
contest.
surprised. I once saw him throw someone from the tavern into the sea. It was like one swift movement. The guy was there, and then he was drowned.
Damn.
It was like, woo.
Damn. Gio, when we get back, I think we might need to go to the gym.
Yeah, or I can see if Tony will just fight me.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Okay,
Well,
next
look.
time you guys come to Tessa's Rayla, we'll set up an elemental arena fight between Tony and Gio. It'll be sick.
I've always
this is-
wanted to see one of them.
Okay, I look at Lorea and Ku and I go psychically, do you want me to introduce you or use fake names?
Go ahead.
This is Lorea. She's spooky as hell. and kind of cool.
Yeah, she. How you doing?
Dead eye stare.
She might be
Okay.
dating Siler, so I wouldn't do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then-
I once accidentally spilled a pint on him, and it did not go well. Thankfully, Tony was there, so. Whew.
And then I look at
I will say, Geo, if you do get in a fight with Syla, he's like Tony level strength. I felt shockwaves from that shit. That was,
You tried.
yeah, it was kind of hot.
First day
but-
here, I tried to fight him.
Yeah, fair enough.
this is my other friend, and I look at Ku and I go, "Do
Yeah, I go ahead. Doesn't
cool.
really matter.
This is Ku. He's also kind of cool and spooky. Yeah. Not dating Siler
Very much.
unless he's into it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you guys got kind of that whole like could be a spooky band sort of vibe going on.
But yeah, so here's the deal. We're gonna infiltrate the Dawn Council chambers. There's a spooky book in the next room, apparently.
Yeah.
That we're gonna investigate. It's probably cursed. We've dealt with some cursed objects. And then we're gonna try to murder Valessa. So, and or banish her to the astral plane. I'm working on that plan.
And Dad's on board with this, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Because if we don't stop her, she will summon a god and enslave everyone, and there was no more trade and smuggling. So,
See, I don't want to be modest or anything, but I've been anticipating this for a while. So, just come with me, and he sort of leads you back out across the way to a load of crates. Sort of unhinges one of them, hidden amongst various different things.
it's a
You
nuclear
can
warhead.
see a load of vials that are like a bright, shining orange. They're about this big, and they look like a curved vase. He unhinges another crate, and you can see like quite palm-sized, large, round black balls with a fuse at the top. There's a couple of crates that you also see that he doesn't unhinge that have like a burned feather marking on them, and then a couple more that have the symbol of the luminary with an obsidian sun. You would guess that that probably is Giuseppe's double dealing with both the rebels and the government, so it is what it is. And then the last set of crates he unhinges, and there is an assortment of +1 silvered weapons, just rows upon rows of them. And he's like, clink.
Sorry, did you repeat what that was? Because I coughed through your words.
So it's just an assortment of +1 silvered weapons
All right, thank you.
of multiple different kinds.
Cool. Where's Blaney's character sheet? I go, cool. I look at the group and I go, do we know if silver is effective?
It's not uneffective.
Cool. I say that in our head. I do not speak that out loud because I do not want to insult my cousin. I need to specify.
He also reaches up and pulls off a large top, sort of off the wall, and you can see a massive cork and ribbon map of Obscura, very similar to what you already know with like the different underground trails for where the resistance are. And then there's like blue tags, red tags, black tags. You notice that like the blue ones appear to be most very simple looking merchant movements. Red look like all of the different Dawn Council military and all of their leaders and a lot of the Dawn Council. and then black appear to be all of the rebels. So you can see like a bunch of them are clustered in one place that you would guess, well, you know, is where the HQ is. And then there's one silver thread that runs from the Aurelian Rise all the way down to the docks. There is a bunch of crates with various different bottles in them that you would guess to be maybe alcohol. And then Varduccio's like, once you're done with this, we can go inside the ledger room. I've got a couple of documents that your friend might like. But like Dad said, whatever you need, we can help for sure.
Cool. I look at Lorea, Kuchi, and I go, we got weapons. I think these are bombs. I think that's alchemist fire, if I am guessing
make
right.
An Arcana check, a survival check. Either one, whichever one's better.
Survival, because I got a +6 to it. That's 11 + 6, 17.
Yes, the bombs are essentially black powder bombs, and that is indeed alchemist fire.
Cool. Potions for weapons. Looking through the alcohol boxes, are there any potions in there?
Not as far as you can see.
Cool. Verduccio, do you know I guess it would be you guys, but a potion smuggler or a magic item smuggler?
No, most of the items and potions have been going up to the council. We get paid a lot more than the rebels have, so you gotta realize this is before, you know, Dad decided to apparently change his mind on the whole thing, so oops.
Cool.
Yeah, like the potions go to some alchemist dude, and then the items are, well, I don't know where they go, to be honest.
All good. Listen, I appreciate it. I grabbed some weapons and a bunch of alchemist fire and a couple of bombs. And I fill my pockets and bags. And I look at the group and I just kind of go, anything y'all want?
Definitely going to take some alchemist fire and some bombs.
Okay. I would say that to comfortably like carry all of this, I would say each of you can have 3 of each. And I rolled it on this dice.
Cool. Yeah, slide them into my bag of holding. That I might be sacrificing to. I've yet to come up with a better plan other that doesn't involve killing her. Then I still have a backpack. I just don't use it. It's currently sitting in the cart.
Inside the ledger room that he leads you to, there's just a bunch of different documents. He sort of gives you a little bit of free reign, just leaves to go do something. You guys don't need to roll for this because you have all of this time to sort of sift through all the different stuff. A lot of it's ledgers, favors, names, things like that. Very generic sort of stuff. Some of it contains names of different noble families. So dockmasters, captains, city guard captains. It's got dates, transactions, blackmail on almost all of them. You would guess that Valessa has copies of most of this. But alongside that is also some information about Sabsathul and Cyrusia, with very similar things of names of families, entries into the city, captains, city guard, and the like. You would also guess that Valessa has copies of. There is a couple of entries that mention Sylar. The especially detailed ones mention Valkorin Sylar, entry 47B, and there's a lot about promised assets and paid in full. There's also mention of herbs taken from Kaloria that was on special order from him specifically.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the adding stuff to inventories, Alchemist Fire, is it just the flask single thrown, or is it the keg of Alchemist Fire?
It's the flask single throw.
Okay.
Are you sure it's not a full keg of Alchemist Fire?
Yeah,
Yeah,
could
I
we
mean-
make a keg of Alchemist Fire?
I could carry the keg around.
I mean, I would take a lot to fill a keg. That's a lot of vials.
Okay, no, that's fine. The keg just does 66
That's
damage
not to
on
say
hit.
that you couldn't ask for one to be placed and arranged in a certain accessible area.
Cool.
Should you need it.
Yeah. We will ask on our way out for sure. I want to make that known. We do ask for that.
Okay. I'd say it would be you'd need a lot of bribery, and you would need to choose specifically the location you want to put it in.
Is Valessa still in the city? Or did
Valessa
she
is still-
go with?
You
the
know,
army?
through Lorea's questionings that all members of the Dawn Council are currently still inside the city. The military, it's only been 3 days. The military aren't actually that far away. They've been sent in sort of batches. The first one's to set up each camp, and then the further on the army moves to make sure that they aren't tired by the time they get to it. You guys know that some of them may be vampiric, but most of the soldiers are probably human. So they would need to proceed in the same fashion that most military would need to.
Gotcha. And we know Valessa spends most of her time in the council building. What is it? Is
In
Aurelian
the
Rise?
Grand Pi
Radiant
Temple
Rise.
of the Aurelian Rise. Yes.
Going up the temple.
Yeah, it might be. Is that where the spooky book is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. That is where I look at the group and I was like, plant the keg there? Set her on fire? If
Good
possible.
with that.
Yeah.
It's as good as any information we have.
Right. Cool. So that's 3. Have 3 items.
Yeah. So, in order to get enough, and enough bribes to put it in each location, I would need to know where specifically you want to put it, and that will increase how much you will need to pay. The starting is 200 for a keg, and then wherever you need to put it is going to require a little bit of finesse.
I just buy the keg and carry it.
But they don't have it on hand, so you can buy it and then wait until they can get that much.
How long would it take for them to get that much? Is the other question.
I will find out for you. D12. Oh, that one fell off the table. D12. 9 days. There you go.
I want to kill her before 9 days have passed, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that 9? 6 days. I read it wrong. It's upside down.
I was hoping for 2 or less. Never mind. It might just be we throw a bunch of bombs at her.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you want to do that, you can do that. Yeah.
And it's just the bomb that's in the inventory. The D&D Beyond.
Blah, 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 blah. Let me double check it's the right one. But yeah, it should be. I can't remember what
The
they're called.
legacy gear. It's just bomb. BOMB. As an action, a character can light this bomb and throw it to a point up to
Yes,
60 feet
yeah,
away
it's that
each
one.
creature.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, can we take a day and just start transcribing all these documents we wanted to look at?
Yeah, if you want to, absolutely.
I look at the group and I go, there's a lot of vital information, especially on like Saps Desul and Tessasrella.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can write it down in your notes that you have that. I don't have all of it. I just have
That's
it written
fine.
because that would take me far too long.
No,
I
no,
just have
yeah.
it written as what's in there.
No,
But yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So some of this information is like leverage in play here. Some of this is like leverage to bring back to the Dawn, not the Dawn Council, the Shadelight Monarch. We have not been in Tassasrayla for months. Holy, like IRL months. Holy shit. How much time has passed in game?
Right now? Or for this
Not
session?
like no. In like since we left Tassasrayla, because it was what like a month to travel.
It has been. I had this written down somewhere. It's been a month, so it's been 6.5 weeks.
Fuck. Okay then. That's a
About
long
a
time.
month and a half since you left.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's +1 silver weapons. Okay.
Yeah, so any particular weapon you want to pick up, it will be silver and it is a +1. Obviously, certain people like Geo won't need to pick up another weapon because they already have earth-shattering, world-ending gear on their persons.
Is it
Two.
limited to 1, or can we get like 2?
You can have 2.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a pair of hand crossbows.
Hell yeah.
That's a good question. I don't use metal weapons. I mean, I could use a scimitar, and daggers. But can I have a silvered club? Can it be
Not
ingrained?
metagame, but you
Cool.
could grab a staff.
Yeah, that's also true.
Unless you want a club. Not really.
Well, I use clubs because I need a free hand. For most things, but yeah. I have both a club and a quarterstaff and daggers and slings like on that I just rotate through depending on what I have to hit. It's more so like what can I cast Shillelagh on? Cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if I can even. I mean, I can definitely pick up a weapon, but I wouldn't know what really with Lorea, since she doesn't really use weapons. Can I have a silver shovel?
Yeah.
I mean, I would
Combat
say
shovel? Yeah.
give Varduccio a day and he can probably get you one, yeah. So
yeah.
like
Okay.
whilst you guys, he's like, if so, this is so difficult. Whilst you guys are like, we want to take like maybe half a day to read through all of these ledgers. And Lorea goes, "Can I have a silvered shovel of Varduccio's?" Sure, yeah. I'll see if we can. That's such a weird request. Okay, and
Sure.
sort of goes off.
You can just bring it to the Cock and Weasel.
If we're still here, also that also works.
Such a weird request.
Hold on. Oh, fuck, I have to remember D&D Beyond now. Okay, club +1. And then how do I make it silvered? Can I edit the item?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that after session.
That's fine. I don't think we're planning on fighting anything tonight. At least nothing.
That's what you think.
Because I'll have to make a custom item to get a silver shovel in D&D Beyond. I'm pretty sure it's not in there.
I don't think so. It would be the
No.
same as a mace.
Um,
You can always just rename an item, and that'll.
Yeah.
Silvering, if I remember right, doesn't have any effect other than.
Yeah.
If you attack with certain things with it, it does full damage.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
true.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to read through these ledgers, and we all take turns transcribing different things. I want to try and get info on. I want to find we don't know a ton of info on this Aurelian Rise. So I want to try and find a map for that and see if there's like not some sneaky ways, but like we got to go in, we got to grab that book, we got to kill a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was wondering if the time that we take to attune, not attune, to transcribe, is that enough to attune? Is the question.
Yes. Yes.
I think rather than transcribe, because that's probably not super up Goo's alley, I will instead go and find maps and all that bullshit that we're trying to do. That seems more what I would be able to take care of.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think it might not sound like it based off this conversation, but like we want to be as prepared as possible, knowing like this is the most important fight we're going into in this arc potentially.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put the onus on you guys.
Okay.
For one piece of information that you discover about other places that aren't Obscura. And I will obviously you gain all the knowledge you already have about the certain things in Obscura.
Yeah.
And the attunement for someone's ring doesn't require anything other than time to try and connect with it. So Lorraine would have to. You instinctively want to as soon as you're holding it. So you just have to spend some time trying in some way to connect to it, which I also leave down to how best she does that. Whilst you guys are thinking of that, we are going to go and have our 5 to 10 minute break, and we're going to pee and do all of our other stuff, grab drinks, things like that. But yes, until then, don't forget you can grab your ticket for a mystery dice bag. Or if you just want 10% off, what do you have to do, Bellini?
You have to use code WYRD, WYRD, at checkout.
At checkout. But until then, we'll go to a quick 5 to 10 minute break, and we will be back very shortly.
Cool.
In a little bit.
Find me a place among my brethren, the pines, the bees, the frost. I cannot stay where nature's embrace is lost. Find me where canoe nose makes his revelry. Where the horned one sleeps. Down by riverside resting, no one but me. Leave behind your troubles and your worries. Set your soul on fire. see the light of the stars shining through. Down by shoreside sea, no one but me. Find me where Canoes makes his revelry. Where the horned one sleeps. Blacksmith, blacksmith, forge me a blade of the strongest steel, that when I strike my enemies, their wounds may never heal. Blacksmith, blacksmith of your blade, legends there shall rise, for the blade that you will forge for me will deliver us from the night, the night. Oh. Strike, turn, hammer and burn, the bellows teach and the fires burn. Iron, oil, temper and toil, the forge ain't hot if your blood don't boil. Blacksmith, blacksmith, forge me a blade to slay that evil heel, a sword that gleams like diamonds that can make the darkness kneel. Blacksmith, blacksmith, forge me a blade of the strongest steel, that when I strike my enemies, their wounds may never heal. Blacksmith, blacksmith of your blade, legends there shall rise, for the blade that you will forge for me will deliver us from the night, the night. Hear that anvil ring, echo song of the hammer swing. Shape, grind, polish and shine, the world ain't ready for a work so fine. Blacksmith, blacksmith, forge me a blade, for to purge the blight, which creeps upon this world we love to take from us the light. Blacksmith, blacksmith, forge me a blade of the strongest steel, that when I strike my enemies, their wounds may never heal. Blacksmith, blacksmith of your blade, legends there shall rise, for the blade that you will forge for me will deliver us from the night. Blacksmith, blacksmith, forge me a blade of the strongest steel, that when I strike my enemies, their wounds may never heal. Blacksmith, blacksmith of your blade, legends there shall rise, for the blade that you will forge for me will deliver us from the night, the night. Killers, thieves, thick of skin, till your ruthless trial begins. Let the judge's word sink in, the lifetime on the Isle of Sin. Hey, 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 welcome to the Isle of Sin.
Jagged rock, sea slate caves, no way out but the 10-foot waves. You'll cry out to be saved, no reprieve for the criminal
like some more until you strike the mithril score. Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the Isle of Sin.
With your life, pay your dues. Work or die, it's yours to choose. You've got nothing left to lose. The checks await should you refuse. Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the Isle of Sin.
That empty look behind your eyes, no soul of a man left there to find.
No hope within these iron sights. You're worth these minds till the day you die.
Welcome to the Isle of Sin. Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the Isle of Sin. Hey, welcome to the Isle of Sin. Her soul and mine, they're one and the same. Split one in twain, and we both feel the pain. The sins of one father unread in our veins. Through darkness and hunger, she remained, but her heart no more beats in tandem with mine. And I'm waiting for the wink and the witty one-liner, for her to say she got me and hit me with a smile. But the hole in my chest says I'll be waiting for a while. Be a boatman, your reaper. I'll be yours, but you can't keep her. Lay me down on a bed of raven's feathers. Dear sister, swear to me you'll stay close, never out of reach. Oh, do not go far from me until I'm gone. Mantle of death, black feathered crown, lift up this body asleep on the ground. A soul for a soul, let mine be laid down in this tomb I wish had never been found. You were a champion, I want her back. So I'll be your boatman, your reaper. I'll be yours, but you can't keep her. Lay me down on a bed of raven's feathers. Dear sister, swear to me you'll stay close, never out of reach. Oh, do not go far.
All right, we are back. First of all, we're going to go around the table and find out one fact or piece of blackmail that you guys have found about a different city in Elindrian. You have a lot to choose from. Of course, you can choose Cyruja or Sabzathul, and it will become canon. I will ask you to try and not make it as dirty as possible. Rain. But we will find out what you guys.
Why me?
You know why. But we'll go backwards. We'll start with Bellini. What has Bellini found? piece of blackmail or scandal or information have you found out?
I think the piece of information that I found out is, if I remember correctly, so there's a council of nobles, and they all report to the Shadelight Monarch in Tassisrela,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay. I found out about the because Bellini is very focused on Tassisrela.
Mm-hmm.
I found out the like black market tradings with my extended family that the noble families have all been doing, and or those who are like doing illegal trades not with my family but with like Cyrusia or other cities type of deal. So I'm trying to like corner the market on trade for my family in Tassisrela and kind of get dirt on the council members, because while I have the favor of some, I don't have the favor of all.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I would say you find a couple of documents. So some of them are very minor members. People like, let me find one. Lady Sunshard of the noble house of the sun. She promotes a lot of tourism and cultural exchange. There's a little bit of dirt on some of her more. She's got a little bit of a penchant for mind-altering substances that are not condoned within Tassisrela.
And she's buying them from my family or from
She's buying them from someone that your family does business with.
Okay, great.
Moving on to Geo. What has Geo found? I weep for what is about to come out of your mouth.
That the elves of the Spirewood aren't as holy as they seem to be.
Ooh. Okay. Any
And they're
elaboration?
guarding something very deep and dark other than a cursed staff that happened to be there that they do not want anyone to find out about.
Do you know what's crazy? That is a very good shout. The druid elves of the Spirewood are in fact hiding a bunch of different things. Among which you find out detail the different types of portals that the Spirewood has in something called the Shimmering Pools. You can access different planes of existence as well as different portions of Sylvastria, and thereby avoiding any contact with the Veil, which is known to be a little temperamental. They also have a lot of ancient sites, as well as some well-hidden relics, amongst which was obviously the staff. But you find out that yes, they are indeed not as high and mighty as they might seem, which is such a good shout.
He told me that I couldn't be dirty, so I had to think.
I think the radio stepped away for a minute. So, Ku, what has Ku found?
That the Shadelight Monarch in Tassisrela, rather than being one or a small group of people, is actually quite a few different people, and there are competing versions of events coming from different, depending on who is wearing the crown or mask or whatever the hell those freaks wear.
Yep. If you don't already have a point of inspiration, you can take one for not so much making up lore, but discovering lore that you know already exists. Yes, indeed, the Shadelight Monarch is not one person. It is each child of the ruling houses taking their place and making decisions, most of which they do as a group. But sometimes, every now and then, one of them will step out of line and decide that they want something else to happen. I would say it goes even further than that, and it details a little bit more about the crown or the mask itself, in that it can hold the memories of whomever is wearing it. So they do have a sense of continuity amongst them all. They know what the last person wearing the crown decided upon, and they, as a group, have been sort of ushering that in. Not many people know, and not even the noble houses are aware of it. The only people that would know would be the captain of the royal guard, and obviously the Shadelight Monarchs themselves. But yes, absolutely, it is more than one person. Very well done. Lorea, what has Lorea found in
Looks
these,
kind of boring what I thought of now.
in these things?
I would say one of the royals have a bastard son that they have shipped away to a different county and established as a ruler under a different name to avoid, sort of like shipped him and his mother away with the promise of land and to be forever quiet about it because it would jeopardize a lot of their status and dealings.
Okay. Where is each person from or have gone to?
I don't know enough about the world, honestly, to make that up. But it could be someone from Tassasreda, or maybe no. Let's go with Subsithur. If they use noble families, let's go with that. And they have gone as far as they can. Like if they can be at the other end of the world, the bastard, then they would be there. But I don't know
Okay.
how far the might of the Subsithul nobles would extend. So as far as they can get their bastard son away from them.
I would say that you discover a detailed account of, like you say, a child of one of the. I'm trying to remember if they're houses or if they are. Let me have a quick look. Subsithul. There it is. Oh, yes. One of the members of the council. That's another council. One of the members of the Magicratic Council of the ancient nation of Subsithul have sent their son to a place known as Siltharis, which is the elven capital of the whole of Silvastria. It is the home of the High Elves, and they have sent their son, who is now one of the ruling elite in Silthari, as a little, and you find the detailed account of them sending messages to each other, of information and little tidbits that they can use to adjust different portions. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep that. But yes, you spend the better part of another day sort of hidden away in this place. And once you are finished, you come back outside. It's now probably the evening, so you go back and sleep again at the Cock and Weasel. Obviously, you receive your silvered shovel
Hell yeah.
and become very attuned to your new ring, which is known as the Silent Light. Details of the ring for the other members of the table is that Lorea has advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. She can't be compelled to act against her will by any divine or fiendish magic. So she would make a saving throw against any effect with advantage, even if it does not normally allow one. If she would fail a saving throw against charm or fear effect, so even if she rolled with advantage and failed, She can choose to expend her reaction to instead succeed, and she can do that once per long rest. If she dies while wearing this ring, her soul is shielded from divine intervention for 24 hours. No deity or extraplanar... What's wrong with me? No deity or extraplanar force may claim her soul, including the Lord of Torment, and this offers a chance for resurrection without interference. Ironic that Lorea is the one wearing it, because if she were to die, someone does actually have a claim on her soul. So, that I was not expecting. Anyway, it was meant for someone else. Fuck! No, it was meant for whoever picked it up. I didn't actually. That's quite cool that it ended up in Lorea's hands, so that if should it happen that obviously you end up with your failed death saves and you do need to try a resurrection ritual, Ashir can't step in and fuck it up because he would. That is something that you can now do. He would. He absolutely would. But as the sort of day turns into night, you spend your last... I was about to say your last night. You spend a night at the Cock and Weasel. A bit of a Freudian slip there. You spend the night at the Cock and Weasel, and you wake up to a dawn unlike any other this morning, as a little bit of thematic choice for me today. As you guys wake up, there is a different light that hits as it rolls over the different stone spires and clay rooftops, as bells chime in the temples of the luminary. It is the Solstice Festival of Solarian, which is the oldest and most sacred holiday of the luminary, celebrating the longest day of the year and the divine promise of protection under her light. The streets are swept clean, and golden sand has been scattered over every major road. Sunflowers line the edges of the building, and children in gold-painted tunics run laughing, with pinwheels shaped like the radiant suns. Oddly, priests of the luminary in white and amber robes walk amongst the crowds, chanting hymns and casting rays of sunlight, and you watch as every now and then an individual will step out of the way. You know, through Lorea's conversations with different citizens, that there will obviously be, once more, another great gathering in the Exillian Rise, in the plaza that used to be known as the Sunspine. With recent events and the way Obscura is now, that name was never used because it's currently constantly in a state of misted cloud. As the festival begins to surge to life in this morning, you can see bright tents begin to bloom up in every road and plaza possible. Acrobats twist through the rings of fire, vendors offered different beautifully browned pastries, and different orchestras perform symphonies in the rhythm of clapping hands. You know, in the Gleamside Terrace, near the Exillian Rise, lanterns are filled with fireflies and loosed into the sky. In the Salt Quarter, down near the docks, a burning ship effigy will be sent into the bay, carrying letters to the dead. And at the Grand Temple, upon the steps of the dawn, warriors will duel in choreographed honored matches, blood painting the golden sand in their sacred arcs. You are free to explore this rather odd turn in the city as sunlight and radiance fills the streets in what appears to be the first time in a very long time. Araya, you gather that this only happens once a year, and you can see the smiling faces of each of the citizens warm into a joy that you have not seen in a long time. But you are free to enjoy your festivities wherever you might want to go.
I look at the group. So blood fights or duels where people get cut, or possible duels to the death in front of the church where the Lord of Torment is worshipped might be a bad thing. Also, is today the day we try to kill Valessa?
I think that will mostly depend. Do we feel prepared to kill Valessa?
I don't know.
Uh,
I sort of lack the knowledge of where she is currently, and if that is a safe space to off her.
I think it's I mean, I think she's gonna be at the temple. I mean, is today the day we steal the book and then we try to kill her tomorrow?
We could try that.
I think
I
we could.
I feel if we go to the temple, we're going to encounter her. I can't see her being separated from the book all that much.
I think
She might also be part of the festivities, and maybe the book is then with her outside the temple.
Oh shit! I don't. I mean,
Honestly, there's no great option. We may as well head to the temple.
yeah,
See if we can even get in.
yeah.
We could
can
also scout
explore
like
this
the
festival.
festivities and see if we catch a glimpse of her. Sort of gauge the amount of guards here that would be normally stationed at the temple and see if it's a good call to go. Either works, really.
Yeah, I think this is as good as a shot as we got.
Okay, so where are you up to?
The festival leading up to the temple / temple.
I would say you guys know that the festival is everywhere, but it takes you about 2 hours probably to make your way all the way to the heights of the Aurelian Rise. And there you can see once more those grand, almost marble glittering steps that lead up to the High Temple. Through the crowds, does someone want to make a perception check for me?
Yeah, I can. That is a 8 plus 6. 14.
Okay. A lot of the priests look right. They don't look familiar to any of you. So you would guess that some of them are probably from out of the city. A lot of the citizens are once again sort of enjoying themselves. And up on the sort of beginning of the terraced gardens of the High Temple, you can once again see the clad in white, beautiful long dress that seems to cling to her form, the tumbling blonde hair. Underneath there's a sort of I'm trying to remember the name for it. just describe it. A slatted roof pagoda. That's not the right word. Covered in ivy and flowers, and standing next to her is the
gazebo?
same very. That's the word. Very same, quite tall, black-haired individual. That silver necklace around him. You are allowed for once to witness into, but not to walk in, the towering high temple as the grand doors, they're about 20 feet high, are open. You can explore the different terraced gardens, and the temple interior is alive with sort of very sacred, quiet music. The only people are currently allowed in are standing facing the rest of the crowd, as they are a mass of different choirs in golden robes that are singing different harmonies, and they've opened up the doors so that when they sing, it bounces off the vaulted ceiling to give it that extra oomph. Sunlight seems to stream through the coloured glass windows at the back, casting radiant patterns across the available stone floors. And once again, you notice that that gazebo has been very strategically placed. It looks like Valessa is sort of giving the very much same ambient presence. She just waves every now and then, or bows her head in prayer as each choir finishes. You do notice that all of a sudden, as you're looking across all these people, Bellini, you notice that the large man sort of tilts his head towards you and then leans and whispers at someone, and no more than 5 minutes later, there's trays of spiced wine and preserved fruit and meat that appear by servants near each of you.
Sorry, I'm eating a cinnamon roll. Can I? Fuck it. I am going to. I'm gonna cast detect poison and disease over this food.
Okay. You quickly give it a nice little woo. There is not poison or disease inside anything that they're offering.
And I lift my glass towards Valessa and this tall dude, and I thank her.
You see, she raises hers in kind and tilts her head.
And then I make so like Christianity, there's this sign like the whole Father, Ghost, Holy Spirit. Is there an equivalence for Zephyrix or the Trinity?
I would say for Zephyrix, yeah. There's I'm trying to think of what it would be. It'd be some sort of motion to show like a tree. Or so I think about it, but
Great.
yes.
And then I make that motion.
You visibly watch her like sort of like scorn at it, and then she replies in kind, out of force more than anything.
Right.
I would like to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just gonna make a dumb joke. You're good.
I would like to cast Prestidigitation to have the scent of roses to waft towards them, to remind that mysterious unknown tall man of a shear.
Make a perception check for me.
14.
You notice that as he sort of waves and then he's like talking to someone, as that sort of wafts over, he sort of moves his head. He sort of moves his hand, and you can notice on his ring finger, there's a raven's head ring that he's now wearing.
Okay.
And he looks across directly at Larea and then tilts his head very gently. You notice Valessa is too busy probably showing off to someone as he sort of nods your way.
Is this
Pass.
Mystery Man Siler? Okay.
I cast Disguise Self to change my face and don't acknowledge it.
Okay.
That was it. That was my addition to this.
That's fine.
Non-verbal communication.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Assuming it is a new day, I will once again turn on the telepathy thing.
I just assume that you've done that at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, for 3 hours this time.
Okay. You notice that this part of the ceremony in this morning, as it turns to almost noon, there's a chime of bells, and a vast, giant wheel of flame rises above the Grand High Temple and is just slowly spinning in the air. It's golden light, and sort of amplifies the light of the sun. Just so none of you are thinking, it does not look fiendish or hellish in any sense. It looks pretty, and it's part of the celebration. Well,
Is the Luminary separate from the God of Torment? Are they different gods?
yeah, so the Luminary is one of the Trinity.
Okay, great.
She, in another life, you guys found out she was betrothed with a different god, and they were husband and wife. And she's one of the original gods of creation.
Great. Just making
Obviously,
sure.
you
Okay.
guys know. I was gonna say above table, but not above party. No. You guys know that a lot of the ceremonies and prayers that Valessa puts on aren't actually towards the Luminary, and it's all just a mask. You would guess that she is using this because she has to. She has to put on this festival because she is a high priestess of the Luminary. It is very much required.
I don't like. Does I mean, I'm Bellini. I can make these decisions. Because like, yes, Bellini prays to Zephrix, and Zephrix is part of the Trinity, which the Luminary. So like, do I know some of the prayers to the Luminary?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The Trinity as a set of gods are known by everyone, and a lot of prayers to them are also known because it's a very generic sort of thing.
Gotcha.
When you start getting more specific in terms of the pantheon, is if you're a farmer, you would pray to the
Yeah.
farmer,
Yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, most of the Trinity prayers are well known,
Gotcha.
even
Okay.
by Geo. There you go. That'll be a good standard.
Okay.
Even though
Geo's-
Geo knows a lot, he just doesn't say it.
Yeah, Geo, secretly the smartest member of the party.
100%.
Okay. I like. my gut reaction is to like chant prayers of the luminary, so that they're very obviously prayers of the luminary and not towards the Lord of Torment. But like, I don't know how to do. I'm like,
Think out loud. What are you?
okay. So question: do like some of the random citizens of Obscura, this city, know we're not from here? It's very obvious we're not from here.
Yes.
I'm a turtle. Gio's a GIF. Like, we're a weird group.
The only people that
people-
would fit in are Larea and Co. They
But-
they are
but,
very
like-
much the vibe of this city.
But like,
Oh yeah.
not that it's like, ooh, dignitaries are in town, but like, I feel like it'd be like kind of cool that it's like, oh, people from this neighboring kingdom are in town, like on official business. So like,
That's
not
if
to
you
say that
want-
we've gone
They know that. So
unnoticed.
as you're standing around in this sort of crowd,
Yeah,
a lot of them know that you're not from around here. Very obviously by the two of you, like mainly Gio and
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
More Gio than anyone else, because obviously they know of Varduccio and Giuseppe. But
Yeah.
yeah, they very much know that you're not from here, and also the way that you guys often will stand or like look towards certain things will give away that you're not citizens of the city, because there's a sense of new information that you have to process that they don't. I would say until you make it very known to the rest of the common people, they wouldn't assume that you're dignitaries until you make it very obvious. So that's if you want to do it, you can do it.
there's a level of like of Bellini wanting to like start an actual prayer to the luminary. But if Valessa is doing them because she kind of has to out of obligation, and these aren't obvious prayers to the Lord of Torment, like, I don't want to like interrupt and draw extra attention.
She's not currently doing any prayers. Most of them are a lot of the priests that seem to mingle between the crowds. They're
Okay.
very quick sort of ones. This is very much more of a ceremony of just to show. But she's not currently
Gotcha.
speaking. No, she's just standing around fawning
Gotcha.
over different nobles or people.
No, I won't make a scene. Okay.
You can make the
Um,
scene if you don't want to. I'm
no,
always
no.
happy to.
It is more so that like we do have this like kind of like, yes, it's obvious that like we don't fit in, but like Valessa knows, Siler knows, my uncle and cousin know that like we killed Draz, we killed Ishkar. So there's a level of like, oh, if we're dignitaries, it'll be easier to get in to see Valessa in the future, but we have documentation already, so it doesn't matter. Whatever guard we hand that to will be like, oh yeah, no, you guys have permits, you have visas, like, that's fine. Like, that I was like, it's more so like, it just makes moving around the city harder, because it's easier to be like, oh, I saw the dignitaries from Tessasrela come out of an alley, and whatnot. So it's more so.
What is it you're trying to achieve?
What is it
you want to do?
I just wanted to make sure that like this wasn't becoming a secret like way to power up and give, because learning about the chain breaking ceremony was the Lord of Torment needs prayers as well as the items, the fragments of soul, and either great prayer or great release of power in the form of death, to break his chains. So my goal was to ensure that this is like, I want to go around and essentially in this golden sand that's laid out, make sure like the symbol of the luminary is spread, not in like,
Make me
yeah, it might be under.
Make me a religion check with advantage.
That is off the table. That's a 19 plus 0, 19. My other one was a 4. So shout out to advantage.
The current ceremony is not anything to do with the Lord of Torment. It is very much all in the essence of the Luminary. There's a story about how when she first appeared to the elves, it was upon a beach of golden sand, and that's why they've spread the sand everywhere.
Yeah, that is my big goal, is that like if I notice like a shift towards Lord of Torment off of like what a Luminary's celebration would be.
I will say, with that roll, you will very much become aware if it does switch.
Okay, great. Because it's like that is the point where it'd be like, oh, friends, I'm a visiting dignitary from Israel, and I am so happy to be I pray to Zephyrix, but I pray to the Trinity, blah blah blah. Like I will roleplay that scene out, but I would go up and be like, oh, and like make a big show need be. But like then that makes us moving around the city more difficult, because now the common person knows there's dignitaries staying in the Cock and Weasel and whatnot.
I'd say in general they would already know that we're weirdos here. Plus,
Yeah.
I've been going out on the streets and networking.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of stick out like a sore fucking thumb.
Yeah.
Very much, yes.
We look like
Okay.
a goddamn diversity poster.
Listen, that Instagram reel I sent in the chat that every party has a decent person, cursed object, furry. What the fuck was it?
I'm pretty sure we don't have a decent person.
We have F. Come on, and or my mom. She's not with us
As
right now.
the ceremony goes to a close, upon the sort of ending hour of noon, the grand flame above the high temple begins to flicker, almost like it's about to go out. You watch as Valessa sort of tilts ahead to watch the final embers go out with a sort of sense of satisfaction, knowing that this part of the ceremony is over. And then there is a twitch in her face as you watch the rather tall individual next to her reaches a hand up behind and sort of clicks his finger. You watch the burning circle of flame explodes into bright pink petals that shower down upon everyone, who lift their hands up in great exclaim and all begin to bow and sort of move their heads down. For those who are observing enough, you watch the raven-headed ring glows ever so gently as Silas sort of does that movement behind his head, as if he's stretching. And you watch Valessa like quickly tilts her head around, looking for the individual in question. She doesn't seem to notice that it is Silas himself, and there's a very smug look on his face as you watch it all sort of rain down. Lorea, you know exactly what those are. Those are flowers from the Feywild.
Yeah.
And the rest of the citizens just seem to take it as some sort of final celebration to the Luminary. And
I
there's very
applaud.
much that sort of smug sense of satisfaction on his face. Is there anything else you guys would want to do around the middle of the day?
I mean, I'd love to do, like, if we can't, okay, our top goal is to get inside, but if I see that we can't currently get inside and steal a book and kill Valessa, I would like to kill time by something fun. I think Lorea would be down for fun.
Okay.
Go to some sort of carnival shooting range-ish thing, a majig.
Absolutely, that is something we can do. Let me find my notes on carnival games.
I will be right back. Continue on without me.
No worries.
Like, she would. I think all of us would want to go forth and absolutely do what is necessary and kill and all of that. But if we can't at the moment and we have to wait for a certain time, then fun.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I've found where I put some. You can go do a little archery. There's a ring toss. There's blessings balance, which is something I just invented. Which is where you have to walk along a balance beam above a pool of water. There is a trial of heat, so maybe eating spicy food, and there's a fortune telling booth because I like fortune tellers.
But fortune booth though. Fortune booth.
No.
Yeah, Coop beelines it to the archery thing. That's about where that's his shit at this point. He knows it.
Gio's gonna go enter the eating competition.
Of course, hell yeah.
The blah, 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 blah. Let's go with. Yeah, we'll start with the shooting range, as it were. You're given a heavy crossbow, and you have to shoot blunted arrows at targets. You make 3 ranged weaponed attacks. So obviously you make your normal ranged attack.
Double check. I don't know that I am crossbows, so just gonna add one real quick and see what happens.
Go for it.
Yep, I'm not. So, all right. Yeah, I will roll.
Mhm.
Well, I still got a 23.
Jesus.
23 is a bullseye, as it sort of thunk into the target. Do you want to make an investigation check as you're doing that?
Yeah, of course. It's a 19.
You notice that as you're shooting it, it sort of dips down a little bit. You would guess that maybe the arrows have been weighted, just for a little carnival glee. But yeah, you can definitely go again. So another 2, and obviously if you get 2 more bullseyes, then you will, of course, win big money, big prizes.
It just sort of
Yeah,
show off.
that's a 22
Mm-hmm.
and a 19.
Okay, now I'm definitely standing beside him like, fucking show off.
There's a bit where he picks up the heavy crossbow, and it does look heavier than he thought it would be, and he's sort of looking it over, and then just very casually just puts one in, gets the bullseye, gets another 2. Thunk, thunk. Yes, you win 16 gold. And I would say you are given a bronze sun token. That is an invitation to the ceremony later on this evening, called the Burning of the Covenant.
Do I know anything about a burning of the government ceremony? Like, is that something done elsewhere?
I don't know. Depends if Ku shows you it. The burning...
I mean, I'm definitely not shy about what I now have.
Yeah, the Burning of the Covenant is to remind the citizens of the time in which the mortals were given fire. They offer light for light, soul for soul. It's very much a luminary celebration. They essentially build a giant structure of wood and set it on fire.
Wicker.
Okay. So this is a common occurrence. This is
Yeah.
it. Okay, cool. It's not a hidden like.
Yeah,
what do
I
you call
mean,
it thing?
this whole sort of festival is new for you guys. The most you would have
Yeah.
experienced about it is probably written in texts or stories that have been passed around or things like that. It's only in places where they truly worship the luminary herself is when the festivals are put on. So that would be apparently Obscura, which most people weren't aware of. Irides
Yeah.
Coast do it. The Spirewood have done it. And Subsathul have definitely done it. Aside from that, it's not really something that most people do.
Gotcha.
So our eating competition, right? I will find.
Yeah, that's performance enhancing drugs by the magical hippo. Sure.
So I need, as you sit down amongst all these different people, you to make a constitution save for me for the first round of spicy festival treats.
19.
Okay. This will be an increasing DC. You have 2 more rounds. So obviously make 2 more constitution saves. And we will see if you win big money, big prizes.
14
Ooh.
Ooh.
and 16.
Okay. I always say there is a moment about halfway through where there's like a big gurgling formation and you think you might either throw up or shit yourself and you're not really sure, and then you just open your mouth and it's like just a massive belch, and then you just keep going. You also win 40 gold. Look at that. And a bronze token to the ceremony. Anything else? So that's Bellini and
Fortune
Larea.
teller.
Ah, fortune teller, of course.
Of course. That's more emerald than Larea, honestly, but yeah.
And Bellini, do you want to do anything?
Yeah. Is there a I didn't know what games you said, but is there a like ring toss or
That is
a, like...
actually something I named. Yes. I have
Oh,
named
cool.
it the flame toss. You have to toss small molten glass rings onto pegs whilst
Cool.
blindfolded.
Yeah, NBD.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm trying to think what other games Liam would be good at.
And the only other one is the Blessing Balance, which is you have to walk across a narrow beam over a shallow pool whilst reciting a solstice blessing.
I would definitely do the Solstice Blessing. Bellini's not that acrobatic. Or athletic. Fuck it, we're gonna toss things blindfolded.
Okay. So I need you to make 3 dex checks with disadvantage.
Okay.
If you hit the number that I'm looking for, then obviously you will win big money, big prizes.
Okay,
I will
well,
say this one in particular looks the hardest. So there is something very fun that you could win.
Cool.
If you get
Can
it.
I try and help him because I'm proficient in sleight of hand, and I would like to see, knowing that carnivals are rigged,
Yes.
see if I can balance the odds.
Is this a like ranged attack?
So
or,
you can
or is this just a plus dexterity modifier?
Did I read that right? I feel like I read that wrong. Oh yeah, sorry. It's a ranged weapon attack with disadvantage.
Great. Well, okay. I can take a photo if you want me to, but I'm currently looking at an 18 and a 19 on the die, plus 4.
Okay, that one is
So that's
10 points.
20,
because you,
22,
yep,
23.
It's above
Yeah.
20. So you get 10 points as you hit the top row. I will
Okay.
say no, Larea can't help, but you can, if you would like, to make an Arcana check. Figure out what in particular they have rigged about this carnival game.
I mean, I'll roll, but I'm not really good at Arcana. Well, a 3, so I have no idea.
Okay. Well, shit.
It must be rigged somehow. I can't figure out what's happening
That was
here.
only because the thing that they have rigged it with is magical. It's not actually a carnival trick.
And that's a 16 plus 4, 20, and a 15 plus 4, 19.
Okay, so
With
that
disadvantage.
is 25 points. So you earn hiya! Another 40 gold, a bronze token,
shit.
and if you could please roll a d20 for me.
Oh shit, okay. That's a 12 on the die. What did I win?
Let me just look something up real quick. This is fucking ridiculous.
Thanks,
Did you make
Rain, for the
boo-boo?
dice.
I had a feeling they were going to be those
You
guys.
are given by quite a weaselly-looking, tall human man a stuffed doll of a hippo. If you could please add a talking doll to your inventory. You
Yes!
can spend a short rest telling it up to 6 phrases, none of which can be more than 6 words long, and set a condition under which the doll speaks each phrase. You can also replace old phrases with new ones. Whatever the condition, it must occur within 5 feet of the doll to make it speak. So, for example, whenever someone picks up the doll, it might say, "I want a piece of candy." The doll's phrases are lost when your attunement to the doll ends. So it does require attunement, even though it's only a common item, and that's probably a good thing because that is hilarious.
Hysterical.
Hysterical. Of course, Bellini would be the one that got the fucking doll.
It's two.
It's just a doll magnet instead of a chick
Okay,
magnet.
that is the third doll I have in my inventory. I have F. I have a stuffed monkey.
Oh, you do? Yeah, I remember that.
And
Now you have a hippo who
Yeah.
talks, and also a stuffed
Yeah.
hippo that also talks.
yeah, the stuffed monkey is made out of socks and is real cute according to the item description. Yeah, and I just kind of set him there, and I go, "Great, F, I got you a friend." And F just kind of holds its hand, real cute, like. So, yeah,
It just needs a red overcoat.
yeah. My mom will make one.
And finally, for our lovely grave robber, off in a little bit more quiet area, I don't know, near some children and a fire breather or something along that lines, you find a very beautiful looking, quite a slim tent, and the interior is very dim in the sense that you would expect. As you walk in, you wouldn't be able to tell her age, as she's got like a chainmail-esque draping veil over her head, and sort of asks you to sit on the chair opposite.
I do so. I'll say that,
She spreads out a series of cards in front of her, and on the table you can see a circular mirror in the middle, etched with different signs of a spider and its web. I would ask you to draw 3 cards one at a time. I will let you know what they are.
Draw the first card. She will sort of drift her hand over and pick one at random.
You draw a card that is a large stone tomb with the surface ajar slightly. There is a window shining some sunlight upon it. As the woman describes to you that you bear a past taken from dust, something borrowed from the dirt, and a name that was never meant to be yours. As you draw the tomb card, which is quite apt given whom you are. That is weird and makes me feel uncomfortable.
Lorena is very much like, she doesn't believe in this shit, but she's always found it fascinating because she has like an aunt on the streets that used to swindle people with fortune reading. So she's there because it's nostalgic, and she's like, I wonder what kind of trick she does. And when that card gets drawn, she's just like, sorry? So she's kind of taken aback by that.
Okay. And your next card. You see the depiction, this card is upside down, of a man in a patchwork cloak with a long trailing hood and a beaked mask. He's very spindly and seems to be in the process of running. There is a bunch of items falling from his person. You see a pendant, a cup, some cutlery, a key. You have pulled the Fool card. As the woman
Aw,
describes
my
unto you
favourite.
that you are bound, but not truly. More like held. Something wants to take you for a fool, and it will feed on what you are.
Alright. In between the next card, I'll sort of remark, you're very good at cold reading. My aunt was also this good.
That's
Very
well, it comes with the
disrespectfully.
territory. Actually, when you say that, can you make a religion?
I can. 18.
You see that bound into the veil are a series of silver spiders, almost charms, that dangle from it. And as you say that, and she responds, there's almost like a golden light from them. And then she goes back to pulling from the cards.
Okay.
It will become apparent in a minute.
Sure.
The next card you pull is the depiction of a vast and quite muscular, to be honest, looking devil. He's got big, large, leathery wings that stretch out from behind him. He seems to be in a hellscape, as he has chains wrapped around his arm and a series of skulls that line across his chest. He's completely red and is in the process of whipping as you pull the Fiend card.
Okay.
She describes to you that you will, as many people do, face choices. Should you burn the bond, the silence will be deafening. Embrace it, and you may become the hand instead of the puppet. But either way, strings will bleed. And as she's concluding, in the mirror, you see a flash, a bunch of different series of events, maybe. You see a vast demon lord that looks very similar to the one in the card. A flash of 2 tieflings. One red, one a very deep magenta color. You see Valessa, and then Scylla, and then Ashir. Before it clouds over.
Were the red tieflings before that and the devil? Is that Asmodeus related?
The devil looks very much like depictions of Asmodeus. The 2 tieflings you don't actually recognize. Or rather, Larea doesn't recognize. You, as Emerald, should.
Okay.
Okay, Friday campaign players.
There we
weigh
go.
in. This is your moment
make
in
a-
the Twitch
This is your
chat.
moment.
Ben,
Help us
Ben, where
out.
are you? Help!
Above table, as we all sort of watch this in a third-person point of view, we see a red tiefling adorned in very gleaming steel golden armor, quite a large sword, which is Nimessa, the paladin of the Guardian, and quite a dainty-looking purple tiefling with little celestial stars on her skin.
Oh, I thought they were both red. Otherwise, I definitely would have made that connection.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
that concludes. And as you go to leave, she places once again a bronze token in your hand, as well as a sun-shaped bone disc that's burned black on one edge.
Okay. Does the bone disc look? Is it like a coin, or is it a disc, or what? Is it a CD-ROM?
I don't think you have to roll for it. It's a piece of a skull, because you would know that. It's actually a piece of a human skull that she has given you.
Hell yeah! How nice of her. Is it enchanted?
No, it's just creepy, and I thought you'd like it.
Oh yeah. I say that as Larea. Oh yeah.
free bones. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. I think that would constitute as fun for Larea. I think she's had her fill in the festival.
As the golden hour falls and the afternoon turns into the beginnings of evening, you are once more, or rather, everyone is once more addressed by Valessa as she watches from another high dais, stood between other fairly religious and looking and military-esque figures. She says, "May each soul shine brighter than the day they were born, and may this city never know a dusk it does not conquer. For those that are invited, we will of course begin the ceremony. And each person raises their bronze coin and are picked out from the crowd. All of those-
We raised our.
I mean, you can keep going.
I was gonna say we raised ours up.
It's up to you.
I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all those that have their coins are picked out, you guys amongst them, and you are guided to gather around a vast pyre that has been placed in sort of a gravelled area at the far side of the High Temple, away from most of the rest of the crowds. It is the tallest part of the cascading marble steps, and is adjacent to the grand building of the High Temple. You can see different festival winners, a couple of families, some soldiers, clergy, our honored guests. As you stand around this sort of almost constructed tiered amphitheater around the pyre. There's quite a lot of you there. There's a good 200 to 300.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see Valessa now stands at the base of the pyre. She's now robed in white and crimson and is surrounded by different veiled clergy members and a couple of children dressed as angels of light. You notice everyone in the crowd are all above the age of 18, and the only other children are, of course, those dressed as angels. As she begins to talk to you all, in the old days, where the gods feared mortal sorrow, they gave us fire to remember them by. Tonight, we return this gift. We offer light for light, soul for soul. Let our grief rise like smoke. Let our pain burn clean. If you were to offer the pyre a gift, let it be now, so you can offer your most beautiful tribute. You watch as different figures are sort of encouraged to lead to the pyre, some putting different tokens upon it. Can you pick someone to make a perception check for me?
Vaughn and I have the same. Vaughn, do you want to roll it or do you want me to roll it?
I got this.
Okay. Go for
I
it.
got this, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, I got a whole 25.
Oh my god.
So tell me everything I see. Just give me the plot.
You notice that some of these figures are shackled at the feet. She praises each one of them by name and places them very strategically around the pyre. As she gestures for the clerics to begin lighting the wood aflame. Everyone begins to bow their head in prayer. Syla is not there. And you can see quite a few notable individuals of the noble houses.
Are any of those nobles shackled?
No.
Do they all seem to be moving on their own accord? Or are they mind controlled?
Well, everyone stood still, sort of bowing their head in prayer, so they're... I don't know how you'd figure that out.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
What components require that? Does it have a verbal component?
Verbal and somatic.
I will need you to make a stealth check to try and disguise that under your breath. How I view it is spells will require some form of energy, and when they have a verbal component, you have to put the emphasis into those words. So this is going to be your attempt.
16 plus 1, 17.
What was it? Detect magic.
Yeah.
There is a very strong charm spell present. Yes.
Can I let the group know?
Yeah.
And I go, I can dispel it. Is it on the nobles or just the
It's
common
it's
people?
on everyone.
Cool. This feels very Lord of Tormenty. I'm gonna dispel this.
Do it.
Yeah. Cool. Dispel magic. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting modifier. The DC is equal to 10 plus the spell level. On a successful check, the spell ends. So my goal is to dispel the charm spell coming from Valessa.
Okay, this is a 6th level spell.
Okay. Okay, that's a 2. I'm gonna burn a luck point. That is a 12 plus 6, 18. I beat it by 2.
Okay. You see,
Um,
she is beginning a prayer by the time you finish yours. She's about halfway through, saying things like, let me actually find the actual prayer. O light without shadow, flame without end, burn away the weakness in me. Make pure my pain, that it may be pleasing. Let it not my will defy your radiance, for I am clay before the furnace, ash before your judgment. And as she finishes that line, your dispel magic breaks, and you watch as a bunch of the crowd begin to blink and look around as Valessa sort of moves her eyes up in your direction.
And the luminary who protects and frees us all, may they guide us on this holy solstice. Amen. And I just kind of look around and I'm like, yeah, this is so nice.
You watch as she moves her hands outwards and then pulls her nails into her palms as you watch blood begin to seep down both of them.
Totally normal.
A bird flies overhead and stops mid-flight. Every member of the crowd pauses as you watch their eyes are moving about. Glyphs in the cloud begin to sear into a flame. Except this time it's dark
spooky.
and red. As the clouds turn even darker, you watch as the blood trickles down the stones and the pyre sets alight, even though no one touched it.
Berea, it might be time to get spooky and scare all the people away.
I cast Mold Earth to try and trip her up.
Okay.
I'm just sort of Toph Beifong Earth under her. And I go into Form of Dread.
You watch as she smiles at both of you. A couple of the clergy pull off their masks, and you see the pale, fanged faces. Valessa looks at all of you, and there's a soft smile as you hear an audible metal shatter, almost ring out. She looks directly at all of you. One more day. And vanishes in a burst of radiant flame.
Not bad.
We will jump into initiative next week on another episode of the Exillian Expanse. As the third seal has been shattered, you watch almost every member of the crowd is now bleeding from their eyes and their nose and their ears as they begin to fall one by one onto the steps of the amphitheater. Bellini,
That's even bad.
you notice that about 12 of them, closest to you, are still standing. Fresh-faced. You've saved a dozen souls with your quick interruption of prayer.
Cool.
One of them being a very familiar, slicked-back, beautiful, charming water genasi, as Charlie sort of gives you a quick finger guns. You will have some aid during your fight because of your timely interruption. But until then, I do believe the only person to redeem their ticket this week was Outlander, from what I can tell. So Ben, you will, of course, win yourself a ticket for the giveaway. And we will see you guys once more next week. This has been my Wyrdcast. Say goodbye, guys, and thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Eternity's a gift, they say, to never cross the veil. This life I try to savor, and I try